Okay, in this video, I will show you how to convert between these two different forms. So, if a quadratic equation is written in the standard form, we can convert the equation into the general form by multiplying x minus h by x minus h. So, for example, here we're given the equation fx equals 3 times x plus 2 squared plus 4. Okay, by the way, in this equation, from the equation, we can see that the vertex is the point -2 and 4. Okay, now, if I want to convert this equation into the general form, what I can do is over here, x plus 2 squared means I multiply x plus 2 by x plus 2. So I will get 3 times. So now I follow these two terms. I will get x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 2 times 2. So then I combine the 2x with the 2x, I will get 4x. And next, I distribute 3 into this polynomial. I will get 3x squared plus 3 times 4x, which is 12x, and plus 3 times 4, 12, and plus 4. Now, if I combine the 12 with 4, I will get 16. So, this equation, the equation we had at the beginning, when we convert it into the general form, it will be like this. Okay. Now, this is simple, and this direction, this is simple. Now, the difficulty is if the equation we're given is written into the general form, because from this general form, we cannot tell what is a vertex. Well, so far we cannot tell, but I will show you in a second. Even the equation is written in the general form, there is a way to tell the vertex. Now, if I want to convert the equation into the standard form, I can use this technique, which is called completing the square. So let me go over this technique, and I will use some example to show you how to use this technique. So the first step is we replace the fx with 0. So we rewrite the function into this equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And then we divide each side of the equation by the coefficient of x squared, so by this number a. And after that, we rewrite the equation with the constant term c over a on the other side. So this means we move this constant term to the other side of the equation. And then we take 1/2 of the coefficient of x. So we divided the coefficient of the x by 2. This means, and then we square the result. And in the step 5, we add the result we get in the step 4. So whatever this number we found, we add that number on both sides of the equation. And in the last step, we factor the side with x and x squared. I know this is hard to think. Just by looking at this instruction. So now I will use one example to illustrate how to do this. Suppose we are given this quadratic function 2x squared plus 14x minus 1. And I want to convert the function into the standard form. So by following this technique, the first step is I rewrite the fx into 0, so the quadratic function becomes a quadratic equation. And in the step 2, I divide each side of the equation by 2 because now the a is equal to 2. Right? Let me write down here. Let me mark this. So 2 is a, and b is 14, and c is -1. So I divide by 2. So I will get 2x squared divided by 2 plus 14x divided by 2 minus 1 divided by 2 equals 0 divided by 2. I will get x squared plus 7x minus 1 over 2 equals 0. Now in the step 3, I move this constant -1 over 2 to the other side. So it will be positive 1 over 2. Okay, now here is the important step. In step 4, we take 1/2 of the coefficient of x and square it. So now we need to do two things. So first, we find out what is the coefficient of x. So now it's 7, right? It's number 7. So we divide this number by 2. Okay? So we have a 7 over 2. Now I call this number as the half number. I call this as a half number. So again, you can find this number by dividing the coefficient of x by 2. Okay, and then after we find this number, next we are going to square this number. So we'll get 49 over 4. So this number, I call it adding number. And I will show you why I call this adding number. Now, in step 5, it says add the result in step 4 to both sides of the equation. So this result is this adding number. So now we're going to add this number 49 over 4, which we found from the previous step, and we add it on both sides. So next, we are going to factor the left-hand side. So what can we do is we can factor the because if I rewrite this the left-hand side into x squared plus 2 times 7 over 2x plus 7 over 2 squared. You see, I didn't change anything, but I just rewrite them, and then on the left-hand side, we can factor it using this formula. Remember, a plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So right now the a is like our x, and the b is like the number 7 over 2. So therefore, we can factor this into x plus 7 over 2 squared. Okay, now even though you forget about how to do this, that's okay. You just remember once you add this number 49 over 4 to both sides of the equation, the left-hand side will become x plus this half number square. Okay, so that's why I would like you to remember this number, what this number is, because eventually the left-hand side will be x plus this half number square. Okay, and the right-hand side we have 2 over 4 plus 49 over 4. So we will get x plus 7 over 2 square equals 51 over 4. And next, we move this constant to the left. And then we change the x into fx. So we will find the answer. Okay. So after we convert the function into the standard form, it will be like this. So therefore, we can tell from this result, the vertex is the point negative 7 over 2 and negative 51 over 4. Okay, in my next video, I will show you how to find this answer even though we don't use the completing the square, even though we don't use this technique.